let's create a API for creating ingredient. So we're gonna choose the post method. Okay, so we're gonna use a post mapping and slash ingredient. So we don't need any subpath, and then public. So here we can response back the newly created ingredient. Okay, so like this. Okay, and we're gonna call it a create ingredient, and the body. Okay, so here we need a request body to hold the input of the user. Okay, so request the body, which is going to be a JSON format, and we're going to convert it into a ingredient, let's see, update or creation, okay, request. But usually we can use the same object for both creation and updating. So we can let's call it ingredient update, okay, request, and here we just call it a request. And then in this ingredient we're gonna create in this here we're gonna create a request package, okay, and call it the ingredient update request. And then here we can have a private integer ID, and then private string name. Okay, so because this ingredient is very simple, has only 2 fields, but the ID we don't need it when we add, okay, when we insert new record. So come back here, import it, and then we can actually leave them here and make this ingredient service, add a new one, call it create, or we call it add. Okay, add ingredient, and then put the request here. Okay, so then this one will return an ingredient, and then we're gonna use this ingredient as the response. Okay, so for here, and to make it consistent, okay, let's just make this in the service layer. Okay, and then we just put this here. Okay, and create a new method. Okay, and at this moment you can see all the service layer we all use this ingredient response object. Okay, but only the first one at the very beginning we use ingredient. So we just leave it there. Okay, so for you to have an idea, you know, we have a different variant. So for here we can create this ingredient response, and we can save, okay, an entity of the ingredient. So here we need to create an entity object, okay, ingredient equal to new ingredient, and the ingredient dot set name, okay, from the request get name, and here put ingredient here. Okay, so then the save will return an ingredient again. Okay, so then we can either use this one, okay, reuse the same one, and then return it back. Okay, so, but just to be careful of here is this ingredient, okay, is a new one, right? Then we set it, and then we save this one, and then return the new one, which use the same reference. So basically, we use the same reference, but they are different objects. Okay, or we can just do this ingredient. This is called a saved ingredient. Okay, so how to differentiate them? Like, you know, in the code, at the very beginning, this object, it doesn't have ID. After save, then this object will have ID, because the ID is generated, it's auto-generated by the database. Okay, so here we just need to create a response. Okay, I can just copy these lines here. Create a response, and then copy it to our response from the ingredient. Sorry, this one. Okay, from this one. You can see this is why I prefer to use the same reference. It's just you know, to avoid some confusion. But anyways, now it's okay. And this controller is returning, and then the service is returning. Database manipulation is done. So restart and go to the Postman, and then we're gonna just duplicate this tab, create a post, okay, and then slash ingredient, and for the body, okay, we need to choose raw and need to choose JSON here. So then we're gonna put the body here. Okay, so just copy this one. Okay, put it here. We don't need ID because we're gonna create a new one. Okay, and let's see what we don't have in the ingredient. Milk, water, pea, blah 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 blah. I don't know, really not good at this. Soybean, okay, for example, and then send. Okay, so now you can see the return is 200 OK, body is 13, ID 13, and name is soybean. Okay, so come back to our get API, and we can just use get all, or we can just use this one, second page, send. Okay, we're gonna have now total 13 and 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? So it means that now, you know, even the query can get the latest updated one. Okay, so in the database we have an insert. Okay, so it works. So this is the post method used for creating new element. Okay, and also request body will be used to convert this input JSON to object. Okay, so then in this object we have a field name. So then this name will be matching here, this name. Okay, thanks.